My husband would talk about menopause. I'm like, talk to the hand. I'm no, and business, and I'd get overwhelmed, and no, I just can't deal with it.
Welcome back to episode 198 of the Redefining Midlife podcast. I'm your host, Jo Clark. Now, back in episode 196, you heard from Debbie, who is one of the amazing midlife women from my Reimagine mentoring program. And today I'm bringing you another one of my wonderful mentees. Very shortly, you're going to meet Charmaine Size, or Char, as she's called by those who know her. Now, Char and her husband run a 17-acre family fruit orchard in the Riverland of South Australia, a property that's been in the family since 1957. Now, outside of the farm, she's usually with her granddaughters or out walking, sewing, reading, or just catching up with a friend over coffee. But lately, Char had been really curious about how she ticks and how to get the best out of her body now that she's in midlife, and how to understand herself a bit more since her recent ADHD diagnosis. Char said that after facing a number of challenges, she needed a way to move forward, that she felt stuck but was also ready to make some changes to hopefully make her life a little lighter. She was wanting to create and live a life that was different for her next chapter, and have it that is one that prioritises her own needs first instead of everyone else's. Now, I really wanted you to meet her because I think a lot of you listening will see yourself in Char. She just reached a point where she decided she was worth investing in. And I think that's where so many of us put that decision off. We keep waiting for the right time or telling ourselves we should be able to figure it out alone. Char made the decision that she didn't want to wait any longer. And that's what mentoring's all about. It's not about giving you the answers or telling you what to do. It's simply a supportive space that helps you to learn who you are on a deeper level so you can become your best self and continue to evolve at that higher level for the coming years. It's about having someone in your corner, asking you questions that you would never ask yourself, keeping you accountable and giving you feedback. It's about holding space for you as you navigate new ideas and try on new ways of thinking. And it helps you to see what you can't always see for yourself. In this episode, we'll see how mentoring worked for another woman. So, without further ado, I'd like to welcome Char to the episode. So, welcome, Char.
Hi, Jay. Thanks so much for having me.
I'm really looking forward to our chat we've got today.
Thank you. I'm a bit nervous, but I'm very excited.
Yeah, good on you, because it's a brave thing to say yes. It's a brave thing to put your voice as a record of how you're feeling to complete strangers. So I probably made you feel 10 times more nervous by saying that. But in hearing your story, other women are going to hear their own story in part. So it's not going to be identical, but there'll be bits and pieces along our conversation that is really going to make a difference for somebody else who's listening out there. So thanks for putting up your hand.
You're very welcome.
So can you tell us a bit about where you were in life when you first started thinking about perhaps taking down a mentoring route?
So last July, I had reached a point of burnout. Life had just got very, very heavy, a lot of roadblocks. I was not coping very well with life and everything. And so I went to see the doctor and asked for a mental health plan, like testing for ADHD, and I saw a psychologist. So all of this combined made me realise that there was some stuff going on. And I just needed someone to help me get unstuck. And I wasn't really clicking with the psychologist. So I wanted someone that has sort of been where I've been or has done what I've done. And I've been following you for quite a while, since Tracy Harris's whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yes. So I followed you and I've listened to a few of your podcasts, and I just thought I need someone like Jo to help me out. So here I am.
Yeah, I'm glad that you found me, and I'm even more proud of you and thankful that you took that next step to do this for yourself, because it's huge saying yes and taking that brave step, because we knew each other and sort of messaged each other a couple of times, but to actually sit down and be able to talk to you week after week is completely different. And having that faith in someone that they could help you is a big thing. So I really take it on board that you trusted me with that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Like, I got a lot out of it, so it's really helped.
Excellent. So what sort of transitions, other than, you reach rock burnout is huge in anybody's life when they've gone through that. And then finding an ADHD diagnosis on top of it, because you obviously I imagine, as we've found out more and more from experts, that once you go through the menopause transition, that ADHD, if anyone's got it, it will certainly come to the forefront there. So learning to deal with that part of who you are. What else was going on for you on top of that?
There was our business. It's been growing exponentially, and my husband's left his job, so he's been home with me for 2 years. So that's a challenge in itself. Even though we've been together nearly 24/7 for 30 odd years, working together so closely in the shed and out in the field, it's a lot different to because the shed was my space, and he was coming into my space to help me. And of course, he didn't do things how I wanted and things like that. But that was really tricky. I help caring for grandchildren, which they light up my world. I love them so much. And yeah, so the business, the grandchildren, my children, they're adult children, but we are pretty involved in their life. We are so blessed that they'll call us up and say, "Mum, I'm going to Kmart. Do you want to come?" Or, "Dad, I'm going to Bunnings. Do you want to come?" And we are always going to say yes to that. They just grow so quickly, and not many people get the opportunity to be close with their kids. So that's a lot, and we love it. Absolutely love our life and where we are right now.
Yeah. So the close orbit on relationships were changing. So relationships with your husband was changing and finding a new normal there with the change, and then just becoming a grandparent and how that's going to change your relationship with your children, and then forming a brand new one. So still lots going on, and that's with so many women in midlife. There are layer upon layer upon layer of different changes that are happening, and they really do impact. So.
Yes.
What made you think then, I need a bit of support with this? Now, you mentioned you did seek help from, because I'm not a psychologist by any means, and I'm very clear when I do my mentoring.
Yes.
I'm not a psychologist by training, by profession, so I don't come at it from that angle. But what made you think, well, mentoring might work?
I needed someone else to be there with me. It's a little bit of the body doubling with ADHD. So I've learned I like people with me, but I don't always like the accountability, because then that stresses me out, that I actually have to rise to a level that I'm not comfortable rising to. And when you're in your own little comfort zone, you're not going to rise if you don't want to. It's just, it's normal behavior. So having you every week, I'm like, I need to be doing my thing. I need to have an affirmation. What is going to work for me this week? And, I usually have one in my diary, and I'll refer back to it, or I'll write things in my diary and decorate my pages and things. You made me think, okay, so I need to be specific. I need to really nail down this, and because I forget things and I misplace things, it can be a bit chaotic here sometimes, but having something to work on in the busyness of my life, it pulled me away from work, and it pulled me away from everything else into myself. So it's just another level of working on what I want and knowing where I want to go.
Yeah. And that's, I think, every woman who comes to me for, well, we're either in a coaching space, or I meet in workshops, or it's on one-to-one mentoring, everyone is so different. They've got different life experiences, different ways of thinking and being like. And I think because of my background in being a teacher for so many years, I taught so many neurodivergent children. I knew how a neurodivergent brain works as well. So for you, I was able to sometimes pull you up and then help you, add a little bit of structure for you.
Yes, definitely.
Because that's one of the things, that everyone is just so different. And when you come to somebody and there's only a black or a white way of dealing with it, it doesn't work. There's so many shades in between that black and white to deal with.
Yes, I'm definitely a black or white thinker. Yes, if you get into trouble for breaking the law, well, that's your fault. That's how my brain works. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is. But you started to see things differently. Over time, it's that whole awareness piece is becoming aware of what you're thinking, what you're saying. Now, just a quick pause before we hear the rest of Shah's story. Now, whether you're in the thick of a big transition, or you're just feeling like something needs to shift, but you're not quite sure what that might be. Or maybe you're feeling completely lost and you're not sure where to even start. Well, that's exactly what Reimagine is for. It's my 6-week, one-to-one online mentoring program. And each week, we work through a different topic together. And along the way, you'll come away with a whole range of tools and resources, along with some very clear next steps, so you're never left wondering what to do with what we've covered. And it's built around having someone alongside you, someone there to help you get clear on what you actually want, someone to keep you accountable and to be supported, and also someone to remind you that you don't have to figure it out all on your own. Now, if you're curious whether Reimagine or perhaps any of my other mentoring options might be right for you, just head over to joeclarkcoaching.com and you can book yourself a complimentary connection call with me. And you can also send me a DM on Instagram at joeclarkcoaching or drop me an email at joeclarkcoaching.com. Now, let's go back to our conversation with Shah. So, was there a particular moment when you went, right, I am going to do something? Was there a trigger where you finally went, yes, I'm going to do this for myself?
I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, but, I'm sick of my own BS, because once again, I'm always, it's a gunner guy. I'm gonna, but then I don't. And so I thought, you know what, I need some help. I need someone to stand by me and pull me in and help me get my shit together, basically, alongside all the other things. So yeah, that was it. I was sick of my own stuff.
Yeah. And you're also a really, really caring person, Shah. Like you talked, and listeners can already hear how important family is to you and being there for your family and then running a family business. So there's a lot of things that are pulling you away from time for yourself. How did that feel for you when you went, oh, I'm going to give myself a little bit of time? Was it something that was uncomfortable, or did you start to go, right, I'm just going to push through the discomfort and Dan will do it?
It is uncomfortable. I've done a few other things like working on myself, and there's a big one where I'm feel selfish, as we've spoken about, taking time for myself to go to the gym because I need to go to work, or just society makes us feel like we're selfish for looking after ourselves, and that's not society's fault. I think it's our age group, because we should be there for our family and we should be helping them and all of that sort of thing. Now it's me. If I want to have a nap, I'll have a nap because my body's telling me it needs to go to sleep. If I want to go to the op shop because I'm done working for the day, I'm over it, I don't want to do anymore, I'll go to the op shop and then I'll come home and I'll work tonight. My life is flexible, which can be great, but can also not be so great because I go like, I don't want to work today, or whatever the case may be. But I always put the work in, even if it's later at night. So that's the brilliance of having your own business as well too.
That's true. So true.
Yeah.
And before we hit record, I noticed that you had put a post on Instagram, and I did ask your permission if I could read the caption of what you had, because there were a few things that I wanted to pull out from that, because I thought this just sums up you, but it also sums up so many of us in the words that you wrote. So this is what you said: I've never thought I've had much to say about anything.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm digging a little deeper into myself, I'm learning I am much more capable, able, and worthy of chasing anything I love or I'm interested in. I decided to just be brave and say yes to the thing. And that was with regards to the podcast. So I want to pull out a few things there, like that negative self-talk. And we've talked about, that, what we say, that bitch on our shoulder who's saying all of these nasty things in our ear, and we take them on. So when you said, I've never thought I've had much to say about anything, like that awareness of, firstly, you've thought that. What are you thinking now? Like, is that still the same, or is that voice getting less loud for you?
I would still say it's soft, because as a person, I don't share my values, my beliefs, fear of being imposter syndrome, or criticism or conflict. Like I can't deal with conflict, so I tend to keep things to myself a bit. I mean, I'm an oversharer, don't get me wrong, but not on my values, my thoughts, really. I mean, not even many people know about my ADHD diagnosis. They do now, but I don't want to use that as an excuse. And I still want to work through everything by myself. And this is an opportunity. I mean, who knows where it will take me? But, as part of my business, I have to be out there and I have to ask people things or tell people things. We've had many opportunities to speak about our business. I'm not doing that because I don't know anything. Like, people will say, well, how long does it take for the apricots to dry in the sun? I'm like, I don't know. They're dry when they're dry. But you ask my husband and he'll say, 3 days or whatever the case may be. So please don't ask me any questions. I don't know them. Mr. Niche will tell you. So, yeah.
It's really, because I know when we were working together, there was the moments of negative self-talk that would come up. What I noticed when we were over the weeks is that you were getting much better at recognizing it, because I think it's on auto loop so much that we don't even realize sometimes when you're talking aloud, like it goes on in our head continually. But when you start talking to somebody and those words come out, you were getting really much better at catching them, becoming aware. And then when you start to become more aware, you just got that choice then of what are you going to do with it? All right, now I know I'm saying that. Am I going to still believe it or am I going to challenge it? And you were getting so much better at challenging it. And the fact that you are here today is a fact that you've challenged that. So I just want to acknowledge that in you and how big that is. So well done.
Thank you so much.
Also, I see the potential, like some of the things that you are more capable, you are worthy. At the start, like those feelings are not as strong. And the fact that you're writing them and hitting post for everyone else to see, you're starting to see that more and believe that more. So that whole thing about you can write things and pretend it's so, but until it actually becomes a full belief. And that's what I love when I was working with you, is that I had that more self-belief in you than you did it yourself at the start. But by the end, you were starting to take on far more of that self-belief. And that post, I was cheering you when I saw that. I thought, what perfect timing.
Meant to be.
Yeah. So how does it feel to be brave and say yes to things that you may not have done even, beginning of the year, end of last year? Well, how does it feel to say yes to things and be brave?
It is scary, but I'm not going to grow if I don't say yes and, tell that bitch on the shoulder to go away. But you're right in me catching myself, because I find with other people, I think to myself, I can't. Like my social media lady, when are we doing a drop? Oh God, I've got so much to do. I don't want to do. I'm like, okay, you know what? Let's do a drop. Let's just do it. We'll work it out. It'll happen. So it's good. Like, I'll stretch that little muscle a bit more, I reckon. Yeah.
And that's right. It is a muscle. And it's like, if you haven't worked it for ages, it feels so uncomfortable and it hurts. You do everything you can to avoid being uncomfortable. So you don't do it at all. But the more you stretch it, the more you do it in little steps, then the better you'll get. So yeah, very proud of you. So what was the experience of being mentored actually like for you? Like, was it what you imagined or was it completely different?
I like talking things out. And because I'm a big believer in, like, if people don't know or they haven't been where you're, like, there's no point having someone who's 25 telling you about midlife, or like doctors that don't understand, like a male doctor, whatever it is. So I found it really great. I was challenged a few times. You told me that my thoughts aren't always real and I need to challenge them, which I do. You told me to always be curious, instead of going whatever the thought was. It's like, well, why not? Or how come? Or why shouldn't I? Or who said? So that's good. But I'm always thinking now, challenging the first thought, which is normally not a positive one. So it's good. Yeah.
Oh, well,
sometimes I'll just go, oh, you know what? I'm going to lay in my bed today because I don't want to be positive and jump out of bed, and that's fine too. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I found it great. It was very enlightening. You're a good teacher. You told me you would be kind to me, but be strong, because I don't like being told off really strongly. But you were good. I would definitely, if anyone's having any issues or just want someone to chat to and work through some things, yeah, I'd definitely say go and talk to Joe.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
So what was the things that you learned about yourself along the way from, say, the start of the program to the end? Because 6 weeks sounds like, well, for some it sounds like an absolute eternity, and for others, it sounds like just a short amount of time. And really, 6 weeks in your life goes in a blink. Because I know when we
Oh,
started it, and then by the end we're at our final session, you go, oh my gosh, how quickly that time went. What did you learn about yourself?
definitely. I think the biggest thing is I am actually bloody worthy. I told you, like, when I had the mini breakdown back last July, I remember sitting here, it was just after my birthday, and I'm sitting at the kitchen table and I'm crying, and my husband's looking at me and he's like, "What's the matter?" I said, "I'm not worthy. And the only people that love me are my granddaughters because they can see me for who I am, and no one." And I sort of hid from everybody else, So my granddaughters see the whole of me, whereas with adults and other people, you don't show everybody everything. And I just said, I'm not worthy. And he goes, "Oh, babe, you are." And I said, "It doesn't matter how many times you tell me I'm not worthy. Like, I don't feel it. But now I feel like I'm worth it. I am here for my granddaughters to show, and I would hope that I've taught them grace, compassion, love, kindness. And I'm giving myself all that too now. So rather than beat myself up, I'm getting curious and I'm thinking, well, how would I talk to someone else? Like, I wouldn't be doing this to her. So definitely I've found that I am worthy for whatever it is I want or need to do. And I can do it. If I want to, I can do it. I don't need to ask permission. And not that I ever needed to. My husband is 100% behind me the whole way, every step of the way. So yeah, worthy would be the big one.
Damn
Yeah.
right. Music to my ears hearing you say that. I feel, it gives me all the goosies. So that's so wonderful. So that has your family, your husband, your children, have they noticed changes in you, like a before and after, or is it something a little subtle?
I think it's probably more subtle. Yeah, I don't think so. Maybe my husband, because we're a bit more like we're together all the time. And he said to me when he left us, we're alone, he said, "Have fun." Like, he's such a sweetheart. He's always, "Have fun. Did you have a good time at the gym, babe? And did
Yeah.
did you have a good time at the op shop?" He's such a treasure. So yeah, he's full on 100%. He's my mate. So he probably has. He hasn't said anything. But when I went on my antidepressants for my ADHD and stuff, my children, phew, and my husband, straight away, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, nothing." And they're like, "Oh, wow, no, you have no." Within like 3 or 4 days, I didn't notice, but they did. So that was amazing. And
Fantastic.
that's really, really helped. And I think that's what helped get me into this as well, like, okay, so this was just one step of the journey, like the medication, or seeing the doctor, the mental health plan, the medication, the psychologist. Okay, what's the next step? And what am I doing now? So you actually helped clarify it all and bring it all together and think, okay, well, where can I go? Where might my life go in 5 years and 10 years time? And like, we don't know what our life holds for us in 5 or 10 years time. And I've struggled with trying to see that far ahead. But as long as I'm happy and my family is happy, I really don't care where I am. That's happiness to me, and family is everything. Everything else is just by the way.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That constant evolving and knowing that you're worthy of, if you've got another, God willing, we've all got decades ahead of us, but just to have the tools and the understanding of ourselves now and how we want to be in these next 5 years, 10 years, 20, and no one's got a crystal ball. I mean, tomorrow life could be turned upside down and we've all had experiences of that by now, or if not for
Yeah.
us, definitely with someone that we know. So there's no guarantees, but at least you've got some sort of direction on how you think you might like to go. And the path can be changed at any time. It doesn't,
Mm.
it's not set in concrete that you're stuck there and you made that decision 5 years ago, so I'm going to stick on it. But at least you've got that understanding now in yourself of who I am. You've got a better understanding who am I, because we talked about how important that is to get a good understanding of who you are, and that's going to evolve as
Yep.
we get older as well. So
Yes.
you've got those eyes are open now. They're not closed.
Like I just didn't like, I said to you when we worked together, I just didn't have the bandwidth for anything in my world. No, like my husband would talk about menopause. I'm like, talk to the hand. I'm no, and business, and I'd get overwhelmed, and no, I just can't deal with it. You just no. So all of this together came to the culmination, and then talking to you afterwards, I went, you know what? I told the doctor, why is life so hard? It shouldn't be this hard. And that's where we are today. We're here, and I reached out to you and done some work and digging deep and spending time outside and thinking about what I want, where I want to be.
Mm.
I might lose track from day to day, but your minimum and your maximum, that sort of brings you back in. And you know what? I'm happy. It's
Excellent.
yeah, it's taken a while, but I'm happy.
There are lots of parts to the jigsaw to get you to that place, and it doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
And it can sometimes be, we'll have one step forward and it can be two steps back. So nothing's linear, nothing's, because that's life. That's what it's like. And
Yeah.
but the fact is you're now in the right direction. So was there a moment or a session has stayed with you?
Like I said, you told me that I needed to challenge my thoughts, and it just got me thinking about lots of different things. And I made some notes. I was doing some journaling after we'd worked together, and I had some notes here about being curious. Limiting beliefs can be changed, and we all have childhood trauma. I have a lot, obviously, like everybody else, but those limiting beliefs I'm challenging because, oh my Lord, yeah. So that's really great. So that was a big one for me. And by challenging those beliefs, your thoughts change, and then you go, you know what? That's not how it should have been. And, I am worth it. So that all is tying into growing up and growing wiser and older, and changing your thought pattern, because I'm a looper. Things loop in my brain and they just go on and on and on. So to actually stop that and break it and then get curious, like you said, it's game changer. It really, and I'll sit out there with my coffee and I'll be just looking at the trees and going, oh, wow, the trees are beautiful. I don't have 30,000 other thoughts. The color of the leaves, the shape of the leaves, or where am I going today? What am I doing? What am I wearing? So it's great. All of this stuff tied together is, it's helped.
Excellent.
I just sort of think of you, and it pulls it back a bit. Yeah.
Well, that's really powerful. So you've got the business, which you've spoken about. Has the program, like doing Reimagine, did it change how you approach the goals that you've got for your business and what you want to do there?
Yes, in actual fact, along with something else we were working with as well. As you know, we've got the 17-acre fruit property. So we grow stone fruit and we dry it and we chop dip it and we sell it online, and, farm gate sales and things like that. But I think when you get busy, and it's not even just busy, it's immersed in your world, and you're packing 60 orders that have to be out, and your wholesale orders are coming in, and you are helping with your kids and your grandkids, and you're not going to the gym and things like that. So we now have a meeting every week, and we sit down and we go, okay, well, what do we need to get done this week? We'll push something back, or we'll pop it in what we call the parking lot, to be looked at next week. So yes, it's given us a little bit of structure there, and there's a lot of things that I'd like to do with the business. And because there's only two of us, we're doing the packing, the sorting, the washing, the pruning, he's doing the slashing. There's a lot going on. There's lots of little teeny weeny wheels to get this business running, and sometimes if one wheel breaks, the others can't move forward. And sometimes it's a pivot, you know, you go, well, that's not going to work like that this week. We're just going to have to push that back. And we always let people know and contact them and say, hey, look, things are a bit crazy here. Can we just push it back till next week? And people are fine. And as you know, I'm on social media. I tell people, hey, we're going to be running behind. We've got a few things, or we've got the grandbabies, and, you know, we're not in the shed. We're with the grandbabies. So I'm very upfront with all that sort of stuff. You know, being a people pleaser and everything, you want to do everything for everybody.
Yes.
Sometimes you need to do something for yourself.
Well done. Well done. So
yes,
it's nothing is ever balanced equally. And sometimes,
no,
and that's what I think, that people have got this idea of work-life balance, is that it's an equal portion here and an equal portion there. But I like to talk more about tilting. You know, some weeks, months, days, you're going to tilt one way and then tilt the other way. You know, it's having that flexibility. But the importance of introducing those, you know, meetings, weekly meetings, is great. Now, you've talked about that you are on Instagram. So let people, and it'll be in the show notes, the link, but tell people where they can find you.
They can phone us at niche_fruit on Instagram, or niche fruits on Facebook.
Fantastic.
And we also have a website. Just Google niche fruits and it'll come up as nichefruits.com.au.
So do you sell to overseas as well, or is it all within Australia?
It's all within Australia. We supply, like, you could buy, like, just families can buy. We supply cafes, bakeries for their apricot slice. We're doing a lot of wine cellars now. We're doing a lot of wineries and cellar door sales and things, which is amazing because our name's niche, but, you know, it's a little bit more niche for those as well. So clubs, hotels, cafes, bakeries. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Restaurants.
Yep. Well,
sort of everywhere.
Just beautiful, all the fruit that you and your husband produce. So well done there, because that's no mean feat. Now,
no, thank you.
We'll wind up with another, just 3 questions that I've got. So if someone was considering mentoring but wasn't sure, what would you want them to know?
You've got to be in the right frame of mind. People can say, oh, if I can do it, you can do it. Or, you know, I did it, you should be. You need to be in the right headspace to be able to even approach doing that. And then I follow people and I listen to people, and you get a feel for people. So, you know, look around, ask your friends, check out social media, ask questions. Like you and I have chatted on and off through DMs and stuff, even way before we started working together. So yeah, look around.
Yeah, that's right. And that's why, like, the connection call was important too, that we get to meet each other beforehand, and you get a feel for what I'm like, I get a feel for what, you know, you're like, and then whether or not we'd work well together. And there's no hard, you have to say yes or no right then and there. It's giving you time to think about it as well.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Shah, just in wrapping up, what are you looking forward to over the next couple of years?
I'm looking forward to doing whatever I want.
Perfect answer. Well done. Whatever that may be, wherever the wind.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. And so what do you hope 80-year-old Shah is going to say about current day Shah?
Oh my God. I love this question because I want to be 80. I want to be 80 or 90. The biggest is I want to be able to move. And I'm getting there, you know, slowly. I want to be able to move. I want my family. I remember my therapist saying, if you were sitting at a table and you had your 80th birthday and you had everyone there, what would you have people say, or what would you say to people? And I was actually crying because one was my granddaughter or my granddaughters, and I would want them to see me, and they do, and they're only 6 and 4, but they love me to pieces. I can do no wrong. So I would hope, and we've all talked about this, you know, we can still be friends and go op shopping when I'm 80, and we craft and we draw and we color. And so I want to be able to move. And my family is my family. It's my circle. I have friends. I have some really great friends, but I don't think there'll be many people at my 80th. I would hope it's just my family.
But what is
So
she going to say about current day Shah?
she is going to say, you did it. You're worth it. I told you you were. And good job.
Yeah, I think she will too.
Yeah,
Yeah. Good job, Shah. You did it. You were brave and you said yes
I
to,
did
to
say
being
yes.
on the podcast. And I'm going to hit record, stop on the recording very shortly. And you can celebrate that there's something else different that you've done for yourself that you probably didn't even consider at the start of the year would be something that you'd be doing, this stage in the later on, like in July at the
Oh,
recording.
oh no. I know. Like I said in my post, I don't have much to say, but clearly I do.
You filled the time. You sure did. Thanks so much for being with us today, Shah. It's an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast.
Oh, you're so welcome, Jo. I loved it. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks so much for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, please rate, follow, and share it with another incredible midlife woman. And join me next week as we keep creating an amazing second half of life.